Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Covering both sides of the big issues with the analysis you trust on News Radio 1040 WHO.
We're always talking about the pros and cons of artificial intelligence in your life on the program because it's now playing such a major role in so many people's lives and will be, because a lot of companies are replacing their customer service reps, their humans, with artificial intelligence. Are you better off as a consumer with that happening? Let's talk it over with a gentleman who's in the Keynote Speaker Hall of Fame and the Customer Experience Hall of Fame. Richard Weylman is back on my Davison Family Dentistry Newsmaker line. Richard, welcome back to WHO Radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Good to hear your voice.
Well, the basic question, Richard, is this a good thing for consumers?
Well, let's say it this way. There's an awful lot of vendors out there who say, oh, this is going to be really great if you replace all of your customer service reps. Here's the reality. 62%, last survey we just did, 62% of consumers said, I'd rather speak to a human being on a complex topic than any type of a menu or computer.
Right.
Now, AI is good. AI is really good for, I want to upgrade my this. I want to, get a simple answer. AI can really help. They can help customer service reps because they can quickly access the answers on their screen, and it's more efficient. But to replace them, look what's happened in American Airlines. That's exactly what they did. Guess what's happening? Everything is going in the tank. Customer satisfaction is we want to talk to a person when we want to resolve a difficult or what we perceive to be a complex issue.
So, Richard, am I wrong in saying that even though these companies see that you and I want to talk to a real person, they're still making these cuts because it's a budgetary thing? Or do they actually believe this somehow improves the customer experience?
It's really twofold. And the first is they believe, who believes this? Who believes it's going to save money? It's based on the culture of the organization. I mentioned American Airlines. You look at the airlines, their satisfaction scores are way down, most of them. Why? Because the culture is we are going to save money by cutting jobs, and we'll be able to make more profitability. The problem is they get a legion of people out there that refuse to fly them anymore and switch to other airlines. So they don't think about the lifetime, LTV, lifetime value of us as a customer. So those companies who have a culture that's all about the transaction and making the sale, those individuals are really going to suffer, because when you make a sale, when I buy something from you, that's not the end of a relationship. That's the beginning of one. So you should do everything you can to elevate my experience so I continue to be the individual that buys from you.
Richard Weylman on News Radio 1040 WHO. So, Richard, is this realistic that, because it seems to me in listening to what you say, and that makes such sense to me, that a company would take advantage of other companies' lack of customer service to really step up and say, man, we can really get a foothold on our competitors by being better to consumers. But that lure of artificial intelligence, it's out there. It's the shiny new thing. But do you think that it's realistic to believe that companies will recognize that better, human-based customer service will be to their advantage in the long run? Is that a realistic hope?
It absolutely is, and I'm going to give you 3 really quick examples. Number one, Discover Card. They're now running ads all over the country. When you call Discover, you don't get AI. You talk to a real human being.
Good.
That tells you they realize that's a differentiator. Look at Chewy. Chewy is crushing the animal market, whatever, food, veterinarian, the whole 9 yards. Why? Because when you talk to customer service, you talk to an individual, and if you have an issue, they resolve it instantly. And if your pet dies, they send you a bouquet of flowers and a condolence card. That's how far they've advanced. Look at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, you look at Chick-fil-A, they have the highest record revenue per store. They use AI. Those kids that are out there in the line taking your order, AI processes the order, builds efficiency. But what it's done, it's allowed them to put more people in the drive-through to be able to help you more quickly. And remember now, Chick-fil-A closes 52 days a year. That means they close November 10th, reopen January 1st, and they produce more revenue than anybody else in the industry. Why? Because they're focused on people. They're using AI for efficiency, not to replace where you got to walk up to a kiosk. I was just in L.A. There's nobody working the counters anymore at McDonald's at $20 an hour. You got to order through a kiosk. It says, we only take orders virtually. You have to go through the kiosk. If you're not capable of doing that, sorry, you can't have a McDonald's.
Richard Weylman on News Radio 1040 WHO. So, Richard, you referenced this earlier in the conversation. Wanted to go back to it. Is there a good use of AI in the customer service realm?
Absolutely. And some companies are doing it. That's exactly what Amazon did. They've had a record quarter, record revenue, record everything. How did they do it? Well, what Bezos did, he invested in it, and he said, what I'm going to do is put AI in my customer service reps' computers. So when you call in, you want a refund or whatever you want, the point is that listens at the same time that you're listening as a human, and it starts pulling up answers on the screen so you can build efficiency. Secondly, what else has he done with AI? They've used it to take out some, shall we say, make the routes more effective so that the drivers can make more stops, get the product to you quickly. Their product increase, meaning delivery, is up 14% faster since they put AI in January. So that's where AI really works, and it works for the customer because it gives us a better experience and drives up our satisfaction level. So AI has a great place, and it's good for simple questions. I want to change my password. I want to check on my bill. Great. But when you get down to complex, like I want to surrender a coupon and my product's expired, or I need to change my flight, or I need to change my reservation, or I need an exception. I've had a incident and I need a credit, and I know it's not normal policy, but I need to talk to somebody and get an exception. That's when you need humans, because we need to humanize and personalize the relationship.
Makes sense to me. Richard Weylman, he is in the Keynote Speaker Hall of Fame as well as the Customer Experience Hall of Fame, and you can hear why. Richard, thanks very much for talking to me this morning on WHO Radio.